Hi, grade nines. And so here we are. I am recording our notes one outcome at a time. So in case you miss class, you can record from here. So for now, it's not really me teaching, just me highlighting this, and you could put it up. And so you could see there was our course outline. And there's the marks you needed in order to move on, in case you weren't there for the first week of school. We went through general safety precautions. So here's a list of all the precautions. This sheet is available as a photocopy. So if you haven't come to class yet and you come later on, once you're feeling it's safe to be back at school, you can ask me for this sheet, and it just talks about the general safety precautions, and I would give you an explanation when you came back to school about what we have to do for lab safety. And then here are the notes on variables and experimental design. And so you can see that there's manipulated variable, that's a variable you change in an experiment. There's responding variable, that's the one you measure as the outcome. And then there's controlled variables, that's the one you keep the same. If you're given a problem, it's in general form, what is the effect of manipulated on responding? Here you could see on is your separating word. So everything in front of on and of, that's your manipulated variable. Everything from the word on to the end, that's your responding variable. And so here's a sample problem. What is the effect of watercolor on temperature change? Here you can see there's your separating word. So your manipulated is watercolor. And then from the word on all the way to the end, that's what you're measuring as your outcome. That's temperature change. And there's literally thousands of things that you could put down as your controlled variable. And so on the next page, there was some more examples. The students copied this out. For title, your title is the effect of manipulate on responding. Okay, and so here, the effect of solute type on the mass that dissolves. So solute type is your manipulate. You'll see it's still between the O and the O. And the mass that dissolves, that's your responding variable. And in an observations chart, manipulate variable always comes first, responding always comes second. So if this was your sample chart, manipulate in this chart would be color, and responding would be temperature. And in a graph, same thing. The manipulated comes first, so we always make the bottom of our graph first. So there's your manipulated, there's your responding variable. And so in this case, time is your manipulated variable, and your responding variable is temperature. And there is a worksheet that we did on this for marks. If you look in my Google Classroom, I will post that to sign it up, or you can get a paper copy from me when you come back. And then we started biological diversity, and we were looking at the definitions. And so from here on in, there's not really anything to explain as such. So I'm just going to post the notes. So there is a note with a whole bunch of fill in the blanks that you would get from me, and you would fill this in. So really probably what I'm talking to here are the people who are missing a day of school. Here is the notes for the first 2 weeks. So we had that. We looked at biodiversity, and then we looked at how to classify living things, and we looked at the kingdoms. On Thursday and Friday this week, we're going to do a couple of days of lab work. Here is a picture of a microscope, and you have to be able to label all the parts. We looked at Linnaeus's way of naming, and so here it is. And there's always two names. There's a genus and a species, so you probably recognize some of these. Canis domesticus, that's your domesticated dog. So these are the notes, so you could fill in whatever you need to from that page. And then we looked at variations within a species and variations among species. So here are the notes that I would get you to fill in as you look at that. And then here's some notes on structural adaptations and behavioral adaptations. So you could fill in the blanks as you need to for this. So all you need to do is pause the video if you need to fill in blanks. Guide for doing diversity index calculation. It's pretty easy. What you need to do is you need to count how many organisms there are, count how many times it changes, and then divide it. And there are all the reasons why it's important to measure biological diversity. And at this point in time, this is the assignment that goes at the end of topic 1. So I'm going to put out the notes one topic at a time so you can see what you need to see. Okay, thank you guys. Bye-bye.